Hello, my name is Michael Leather. I'm an MHK candidate for Oncom, and I'm now ready to answer the questions which have been asked of me. So, question one: the island has a suitable education standard and follows the same GCSE curriculum as the United Kingdom. The results give an indication to the standard of learning capacity which the student has. With regard to the island-based school leavers not having the right skills for recruiters' business, then this needs require looking into with a view to perhaps changing less important subjects to more relevant ones which lead to a career. My manifesto includes the possibility of less academic school children to spend at least 2 years learning a skill of their choice and have 1 or 2 school days a week learning of the relevant subjects. Off-island staff could be brought in to fill the immediate gap, but only on a temporary basis, which would allow island people to be trained up to the required skills. The government must make favourable contributions towards the above. Question 2. Regulations restricting the company's growth require addressing and clarifying to where the best practical solution is found. As there are many companies producing different products and have various requirements, which makes it difficult to comment without knowing the facts. But the current unsatisfactory situation needs the situation alleviating on a sooner than later basis. Question 3. All of the questions 3 have my backing. As my manifesto suggests, I strongly support innovation and all practical solutions. Question 4. To support businesses which need assistance, it would be necessary to see a business report, the business plan to include the recommendations as along how the business would require assistance. As each business will be different, the decision made will be based upon the business report. Question 5. Challenges must be faced together, and the government may be required to provide financial assistance to healthy companies affected by contingencies such as Brexit and or COVID. Question 6. Climate change has happened, and the several countries such as America, China, Russia and India have blatantly abused the situation. Whilst the Isle of Man has a carbon footprint, the UK has a carbon footprint of 1,000 times more than the island, and although we must address the situation, it is likely 1 grain of rice to a large bag of rice. This permits the island to renew with more efficient forms of energy, which produces carbon emissions as low a scale as possible to be practically afforded. We are still paying in our high electricity bills for the last overpriced Douglas Power Station. Question 7. The climate change and sustainability involvements are essential to contribute to, but have to be gradually phased in to enable many businesses to be able to afford it, as should the government. Replacing old energy generators and other sources of power with the most practical type of replacement, which does not cost the earth, will gradually reduce our carbon output, whilst inventions perhaps coming from quantum mechanics could eventually come up with something. It is true that the early bird catches the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Question 8. Diversity. The economy is essential as it is not realistic to simply rely upon the finance sector. It has recently been shown by the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, that countries are now requiring minimum tax rates of 15%. The America under Joe Biden is calling for 25% minimum tax rate. Whilst the island enjoys a good income from offshore tax, this could start to become detrimental, where companies could leave the island, which could seriously affect our economy. To counter this effect, I have based my manifesto upon tourism and the benefits which could be brought back to the Isle of Man, but initially the government would have to make serious commitments. Under education, I have suggested the final 2 years the students need to consider a job they must make to clear this career. Basically, we need to look at the curriculum and perhaps consider changing some subjects which are more appropriate to the skills required in the real world.